Hello. When we last talked together, I did a video on prepositional phrases. And after I examined some prepositional phrases with you, we found out that if a blue or first declension noun is part of a prep phrase, as it is down here, cum is a preposition that means with. If a blue noun is part of a prep phrase, it has to have on the back of it one of these two endings. It either has a with a hat on it on the back of it, if it's singular object of the preposition, that is to say the word that becomes behind the prep, or if the word is plural, if it's a first declension noun and it's plural, it takes the ending is on the back of the noun when that noun is functioning as the OP, or object of the preposition. So I've got a blue file cabinet or box, and I've been storing my endings in here for convenience. And you'll notice that there are still two boxes, number 3 and number 8, that have not yet been filled in. And I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to add the endings that should go in there. I'm going to put them on the back of the word girl. It turns out that in number 3, the ending that's going to be used in box number 3 is AE again. I'm going to use AE. Let me put that on the back of the word girl. And the ending that I'm going to use in box number 8 is IS, just like it was down here in number 10. And I'm going to put that IS on the back of the word girl. And it turns out that on the level that has 3 and 8, you're going to put down the English word to. Now, I don't really expect you to feel comfortable with what I just did. I just threw two new endings at you. I threw this word to down on the card next to these two endings. And I know it looks like I'm just throwing information at you, but I wanted to fill this box in completely, so I have 10 endings. On the singular side of the card, I have A, AE, AEAM, and then what I call long A with a hat on it. And on the plural side of the card, I have 5 endings, and those 5 endings are AE, ARUMIS, AS, IS, and I said it like that with a little bit of a beat. To start to put these 10 endings into your head in the correct order, I start on the singular side and I make a cheer out of it. I say A, AE, AEAM long A because it has a hat on it, pause, AE, ARUMIS, AS, IS, So you, the student, have to put these 10 endings into your head. You've got to memorize them, and they've got to be memorized in this order. First the 5 singular from top to bottom, and then the 5 plural from top to bottom. Now, I'm going to speed up a little bit because if I try to save a film on YouTube that goes longer than 15 minutes, YouTube won't take it. So I got to hustle a little bit. I want to use these 10 endings right now. I want to use them. Let me straighten the card up and let me get my equipment ready to go. I want to use these 10 endings. How, Mr. Darden? How do you want to use them? I want to take these 10 endings and put them on the back of a blue word. And the blue word that I'm going to put them on the back of is the word carriage. Rida, ridai, feminine, and it means carriage. All right? This is what the word looks like in the dictionary. The question is, how do I put these 10 endings on this blue card on the back of this word right here? Well, the first thing I do is I know there are 10 endings, so I'm going to number my paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mr. Irvin, you have a phone call, Mr. Irvin.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And why did I put 10 numbers on my paper? Because if you look at the card, I've got 10 endings, 1 through 5, 6 through 10. Now what do? Well, it turns out the first word I'm going to write down is the word that I gave you from the dictionary, rida. It's going to go right here in number 1, R-A-E-D-A, rida. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to recognize that my first ending, which is A, is being used on the first word, and my second ending is A-E. Box number 2 is going to have the ending A-E. So I'm going to drop this A off and add this A-E. So I get R-A-E-D-A-E. Now I want to make the spelling of the word in box number 3. So I look and see what the ending is. It's A-E. So I know this is going to sound kind of crazy, but I'm going to drop the A-E from number 2, and I'm going to add the A-E from number 3. So I'm going to write this wrong to start with. You wouldn't do something like this. You wouldn't leave the AE that you already had on there still as part of the word and then add the next one. I mean, that even looks crazy. So what you do is you drop off the AE that was on the back of word number 2 and you add the next AE. Now, what's the ending for number 4? Let's look. It's AM. So I'm going to drop the AE off of rydom and write rydom. I should have said I'm going to drop the AE off of ridi and add the AM in its place. For number 5, I notice that the word in number 5 ends in A with a hat over it. So I'm going to drop my AM off, and I'm going to write R-A-E-D-A, like that, with a hat. Now, I'm going to come over to number 6. Number 6 has an AE on the back of it. So my last word had A with a hat. I'm going to drop that A with a hat off, or if you just want to think of it this way, just go back to number 1 and drop the A off. And I'm going to add the ending AE. So I'm going to write R-A-E-D-A-E. And at this point, you're going to say, hey, Mr. Darden, 3 of these words, 6, 2, and 3, have exactly the same spelling. Yeah, I know, that's true. Now I'm going to drop AE off here and add A-R-U-M. Rydarum. Now you're getting the hang of it. I'm going to drop Arum, A-R-U-M, off and add I-S. Put that macron or hat. The word I just said, macron, is spelled M-A-C-R-O-N. Macron. Put the macron over the I. Well, tell me what we're going to do next. You know, we've got an I-S on the back of number 8. What are we going to drop? Right, we're going to drop the I-S, and we're going to add what ending? A-S for number 9. So here we go. Rydos. Macron over the A. Now, if you don't write the macron over this particular A, I don't care. But I got to see the macron over number 5. I want to see that macron right there. That's part of the answer. And I'm on the last one, number 10. So you know what to do. Drop the ending on number 9, AS. And let's go ahead and put on the new ending, IS. So R-A-E-D-I-S. Now, I want to translate these words into English. I know number 1 is next to what we call the subject. Subject of the sentence with an A on it. So I'm just going to say to myself, what does the word rida mean? It means carriage. So I'm just going to write down next to it, the carriage. Now, number 2, it's a little trickier. Number 2's got an AE on the back. And in my box, next to the number 2, I've got the word of. So I got to add the word of to my translation. So I'm going to say not just the carriage for number 2, but of the carriage. And I got to write up here because I'm running out of space. For number 3, this is the one I threw at you today. It's got an AE on the back of it. The English word to the left is to. So I'm going to add to to my translation. I'm going to say to the carriage. For number 4, with an AM on the back of it, rydom, I don't see any special English word next to the DO. Remember what DO stands for. What does it stand for? That's right, direct object. I don't see any special English words next to that DO, so I'm just going to say the girl. And for number 5, it's a little tricky. Number 5 is on what we call the prep line. What are some English prepositions that we know? Well, English prepositions include words like by, or with, or from, or in, or on, or at. So guess what you get to do? You can pick any of these words right here to go as part of your translation in number 5. To add, you can add any of these words to your translation in number 5. Pick any prep you like. I'm going to pick with. I'm going to say with. I'm walking down the street with the girl. Now, we got to do a translation in English over on the right-hand side. How do we do that? Simple. Take these translations right here, which are not going to change, and simply add the letter S, because this side is the singular side of the card. Remember, this is the singular side of the card. S on the left-hand side, singular. And what's on the right-hand side? PL, or plural. These are my plural endings. So I'm going to write plural. So, number 1, AE, Ridi, box number 6. I look all the way over to the left. I see it's the subject. All I got to do is take the carriage, come over here and write the carriages. For number 2, ARUM. ARUM is on the same line as number 2, AE. Slide your pencil all the way over. What's the special English word? Of. So I'm going to say of the, but remember it's plural, so of the carriages. Plural. And so forth. All you're doing is taking your translation on the left, moving it over to the right, and adding an S. So number 3 is going to say to the carriages. Number 4 is going to say the carriages. Getting a little sloppy, I know, but it's kind of cramped. And number 10, I'm going to say in. Can I say in for number 10? Let's check it out. Number 10. Number 10, prep line. Number 10. Number 10 is on the prep line, and my preps are by, with, from, in, on, at. I'm going to go with in. So in the carriages. And you know, when I went back and wrote that answer down, I just suddenly realized I goofed up on numbers 4 and 5. Rydom doesn't mean girl. What does Rydom mean? That's right, carriage. So I'm going to say number 4 should be the carriage. And number 5 should be, I'm going to change with to in because I'm changing my noun over here. I got carried away there and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So I'm going to say in the carriage. Now this process of taking a blue word or a first declension word, this is blue or first declension, and putting in a specified order the 10 endings of the first declension on the back of this noun, this process has a name. This is called a declension. We have just done a declension problem. Another way to put it is we declined the noun rida, which is a first declension noun. We declined that. When you decline a noun, you're always going to get 10 answers. And I hope the reason for that is obvious. 10 answers because you've got 10 separate endings on your first declension card. All right, so we've declined our first noun. I'm going to come down here and ask you to do the following. You take the noun villa or house. We're going to say house for ease here. And I'm going to ask you to go ahead and decline that word with full English translation. All right, so I'm going to stop the camera for just a second while you do that, and you work on that.